Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are, whenever you're watching this. This is Floating in Dreams, and today's video is going to be all about the new Essence Catrice Limited Edition collections. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I'm going to be doing a, well, almost full face get ready with me with some new makeup from Essence Catrice. Essence has come out with the Jurassic World Limited Edition collection, and Catrice has come out with the Tropic Exotic collection, and both of them are mini capsule collections where Catrice has an eyeshadow palette and a face palette and a bronzer, and then Essence has an eyeshadow palette, a mascara, a lip balm kind of thing, and a highlighter. But both brands also came out with some new brushes, so I'm going to be testing all of those products out in today's video as much as possible. But there's also a reason why I'm coming on here to film this, because in case you didn't know, in June, I renovated both my bathroom and my kitchen, and so my house is a mess. So any video you saw going live in June, I had pre-filmed in May. So it's been about a month since I last filmed anything. And especially the bathroom renovation, even though it's going well, we're nearly done. It isn't fully complete yet. And because of this renovation, like, I don't know why I thought I was gonna do this, but I just really didn't do my makeup at all. And the one video I had left for the end of the month to still film once everything was done was my 10 palette reviews video, thinking, I'm gonna be trying eyeshadow palettes, I'll be doing my makeup. Turns out I just didn't. Like, this entire renovation situation just really took, like, gave me a run for my money. So that's why I was like, no, this is not gonna work. And so I still wanted to come on here and film a video for you. And then I spotted these new products from Essence Catrice, and I was like, wouldn't that be a fun video to do as my first video coming back on here and talking to you guys about some makeup bits again. So yeah, in case you're unfamiliar with the channel, hi, my name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I love talking about eyeshadow palettes, which is why I feel very sad that I don't get to do the palette review video. But I'm just going to be moving it into July. My channel is also all about trying new Essence Catrice products, so that's definitely going to fit into the scheme here. And I love going back to old favorites and getting the use out of my makeup. I don't want to focus just on the newest of the new, and my makeup preferences are very much skewed by the fact that I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, making me a snow angel. So if you would like to join my little snow angel club on here, then definitely hit the subscribe button, because I do come at makeup from that sort of perspective. So now we're going to get to this makeup look, and what I have for you is pretty much a full face here. I'll make sure to put a link in the description box down below, because the day this video goes live, I will also have a blog post ready to go with all of the close-up pictures of these products. I like to do those things separately. I don't know why, but yeah, you can just click that if you just want to see swatches or what these things look like. I've got you there. Today we're going to test this all out for the first time. So I haven't tried these yet. I've just taken pictures and swatches. That's it. It seems promising though. It's looking good. So what do we have going on? I already mentioned Essence has a mascara. This is a mascara they already do. It's just a limited edition collection packaging. They've come out with a new highlighter with a little dinosaur, and then on the pan we get this scaly effect, and then it says roar, which I thought was funny. And then we have the same sort of T-Rex on the front of the eyeshadow palette, which looks like this color story wise, so we get some warm tones. But we also have some interesting greens in here, so I thought that could be fun, and I'd like to combine it with the eyeshadow palette from Catrice. Then the Essence collection also comes with a pH reacting lip glow. So this is one of those like lip balms that then turns your lips a little bit more pinky, and it smells very fruity. I already smelled it. And then there were quite a few tools in here. So I've got a sponge, which I believe it's the same sponge that they've done in the past, but that I didn't love. So I actually have a foundation that I'm going to be using today that doesn't warrant a sponge, so I won't be using that, but I will be trying out as many of the brushes. So the eye brushes came in this little pouch, but there's also a highlighter brush in here and a powder brush that they've come out with, so I'll definitely be using those. And then there is this set of eye brushes, and I'm currently really into trying brushes, so I thought that would be fun. So we have this mini fan, we have like a blending brush, we have an eyeshadow brush, we have an angled eyeshadow brush, we have a more like pencil shaped one, we have a liner like winged shape angled brush, and we have a spoolie. So I thought that could be fun. And then from Catrice, this is very much like a mini capsule kind of collection, where they've also come up with a brush. This is their bronzer brush. And then it has this eyeshadow palette, which is the Tropic Exotic Tropic Escape palette. And this is a like neutral palette, but with a pop of something like greeny teal and a blue. So a perfect summertime palette like this with like just a bronze smoky eye, I think will be a good one. And these swatched beautifully. Better than the Essence ones, I have to say. And then they also came out with a cheek palette. So this is bronzer, 2 highlighters, and a glowy blush. And I think this will be really pretty. I thought that the bronzer looked too orange, but then when I swatched it, it didn't look that weird. But they also came out with another bronzer, which is this matte face and body bronzer, which is ginormous, but this shade looked really stunning. And this is the product that made me want to buy it. And then I was on this website and I was like, well, yeah, if I'm just buying these like couple of Catrice bits, I'm gonna have to pay for shipping. So let's see what Essence is doing. And then I saw this Jurassic World collection and I was like, if I make a combination, because you know, Essence has the highlighter, but Catrice has the blush and the bronzer, and there's like 2 eyeshadow palettes that I think I can combine into a look. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do a full face makeup look, then we have everything going on here. So I'm going to start things off with a bit of primer. I didn't do my skincare just now, and I've got a little bit of a situation going on. I've been on some meds the past couple of months, and it's been giving me lots of breakouts. So there's nothing wrong with me, in case you were wondering what was going on with my face. It's already on its way out, so that's been lovely. But still using this, as I mentioned, I didn't really do my makeup all that often in the past couple of weeks. So I still, like, this is almost gone, but I haven't managed to use it up because I practically didn't really do my makeup. I just didn't. I really, really didn't. And then for eyeshadow primer, I'm going to be using Milani. I'm just going to use things from my Shop My Stash. Like, I'm still a little bit frazzled, especially because, like, this part of my house, like the floor that my bedrooms are on, is still like an absolute mess. Like, my bedroom is even worse because that's where everything went that I had stored in my bathroom. This room was the place where we stored all of the new bathroom stuff. So this was absolutely chock full for weeks, and now that everything is pretty much in, this room has sort of opened up again for usage. I was like, I can sit down and film that video for sure. And then we're using foundation. This is the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude, and this is why I can't use a sponge, because this does not work well with a sponge. You need to use a brush with this and fingers. So that's why we're going in just a little bit. That's how much I use of this product. I really don't use a lot, because I also want this to just like look natural. And then I really just like spreading it out with my fingers first, and then we're doing that. So yeah, the Reno, it's gone actually really well. It's just that, you know, once the kitchen stuff was delivered, it turned out that not everything was there yet, because there's things on back order, because it's just not, you know, supply chain issues and all that. So I kind of had already expected that to happen, because a friend of mine redid his kitchen in the winter time and he had the same issue. But then they actually showed up yesterday going like, great news, I'm bringing you your oven early. So I now have an oven again. They've put in a temporary like stove situation until the final one comes. And then the sink is also not here yet. And the worktop I already knew was going to be on back order, because that is a custom job. So that has to be fitted to the space exactly. So they came in on Friday to take all the measurements, and now it's being ordered. So this kitchen situation isn't going to be done until like the end of August, if all goes well, because that's when the stovetop is supposed to come in. Because that apparently arrived broken in their warehouse, so they couldn't really give it to me. But yeah, I have a temporary thing, so I can cook. I have a fully functioning kitchen again. Toilet is also pretty much done. All of the tiling and stuff is done. So we're very, very close. There's just a couple of things that still need to be, you know, attached and finished off and all that. So I hope that today they're going to go in. I'm going to go and use my Nabla concealer. This is the Regeneration Concealer. And I'm just going to use a little bit here. Another reason why I don't want to do makeup that's too heavy is because I will be going to the gym pretty much after I film this. I'm gonna go to the gym, which I'm not sure how helpful that is going to be. And then I just like to tap it in with my brush because I don't want to move the foundation underneath it. Yeah, so the reno has been going really well. I did film everything, you guys, so you can expect to see what the before was, what the after was. Like, I did film everything, but I'm not sure yet how it's gonna come out and when it's all going to be done. So I think I won't be able to post that until like September. So I'd like to get it up earlier for you, but not feasible. So I think what I'm gonna do, yes, I'm going to use this for my powder. This is the Kiko Radiant Fusion powder, and Kiko is currently doing their summer sale. So if you'd like to pick up this powder at a discount, definitely check it out. I was on their website the other day to see if they were doing anything new and exciting, and I was like, oh, it's sale, and then this was one of the products that was in that sale. This is one of my favorite powders. So let's see whether this brush from Essence is picking anything up. Ooh, it's creating a lot of dust. But yeah, with this little product on my face, I don't really need to powder all that much, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get some more longevity out of it. Who knows? It's very soft, very fluffy. And I was afraid that it wouldn't really pick up much, but it does. So that's good. So then we're going to do brows. So we have the Essence Make Me Brow, because I put this in my Shop My Stash last time. And still the Catrice Brow Pen Pro, because that's what we've been using. But yeah, there's good progress that's been made, but some of the setbacks with the bathroom was that the toilet that was ordered came broken, so there was a tear, so they had to wait for the new one to come in, and they did put the old, like the broken one in because it could still be used, but of course, you know, if you have a brand new product, it should just be pristine. So that's why they did replace that, so we had to wait for that. And then with the tiling, some of the tiles that were used came broken, and that's why they ended up with not enough tiles for one of the walls. And those had to be ordered, and it took 2 weeks for those to arrive. Literally, like, we were 3 tiles short. And then the guy who's doing my bathroom picked them up, and they gave him the wrong order. So he took it in, he had put them on the wall, and he was like, Mike, come and check this out. Are these the same tiles? Like, am I just seeing this wrong, or what's going on? Because in sunlight, they looked like the same tile, but they were the matte version of the tile that I had. So it was the wrong one. So he had to take it all off, and then they had to try to see and locate where these tiles had gone, whether they had to order anything new. And then they found out last weekend that they had simply put the wrong name on my order. Like, the order number was correct, but the name on the tiles was different. So they must have mixed something up in the store when these tiles arrived. So my tiles have arrived, which is great. So those are in, but that meant that, you know, certain things couldn't be finished yet. And then also with some of like the connections, because my house was built in the 90s, the current standards for, like, you know, water pipes and all that. Like, it's like the plumbing is just a little differently done than today's standards. So that's why it's like he's been having to go to different stores to pick up the right products, and then the floor had to be opened up, and like it's been a whole thing. But yeah, we're almost done though. Pretty much all the tiling is done, save for those 3 tiles. My sink is in, my bathroom cabinet is in, my washing machine has been put back in its place. Still needs to be like connected and all that. And then he still needs to install the shower and do some electrical work to make sure I have lighting and all that. So fingers crossed that today it's gonna be finished. I really hope so. So now we're gonna go in with blush, bronzer, and highlight to see if we can make this thing work. And I am gonna see if I can try as many of these highlighters as possible. This seems to have more of a warmer undertone, and then this one has a cooler undertone. So one is a bit more golden toned, one is a bit more like pinky leaning. But this is the one from Essence that I really want to use because this is like a peachy pink. It's really, really pretty when I swatched it, and it looks like it's got really good pigmentation. So, but I think that on my fair skin, this may just be a little bit too dark. So what I want to do is I'm going to go in with the matte bronzer first, use that all over my face, then use a bit of this glowy bronzer just to add a few touches here and there. Go in with this highlighter, apply blush, and then use one of the other two highlighters to see. And these, again, let me show you. Let me show you the more warm tone one, because I'll probably go in with the cool tone one on my cheeks. So this is the warm toned highlighter from Catrice. It's so, so stunning. And also this bronzer, I'll show you really quickly in a swatch, because this also, like, and it's got this really lovely like grayish yellow undertone. So I figured that for my skin tone, this is going to be a very pretty bronzer indeed. I am going to be using this bronzer brush with this bronzer, but really only for like dabbing it along my hairline, and probably not for this bit here, and also not down here because it's probably going to be too intense, because this feels like too dense of a brush. Like, I love using a stipple brush for my bronzer, because that way I get the most control with how much product I apply. With brushes like this, I feel I just get too much and it looks too muddy too quickly. But that's just me. So if we have the bronzer, let me see how this is going to apply. Oh yeah, the shade is great. But this brush, I'm not sure of. I think that for the body, like if you want to bronze up the body, it's going to work a lot better than what I need for my face. It's perhaps a little bit big for my features. I found that that also definitely matters when it comes to what your makeup looks like. Like, I've got a pretty small face, so using really big brushes is usually not the way to go. That does look really nice and bronzed. I'm just going to give it a try. Let me see. So yes, this matte bronzer, I know Catrice can do good bronzer, so this I'm really liking. That's a really stunning product. In case you would like to try and find these in your local drugstore, then depending on where you live, I don't know whether those are around yet. This is what I'm able to find, and I bought these online myself because that's the best way I find to pick up limited edition products. Very often people will stick their fingers in if you find them in store, and I don't want that. So now we're going in with the Essence highlighter. And it looks stunning, but blending it out, it looks almost bronzy on my skin. So if I were to ever use this again, I would probably have to use it as like a glowy bronzer. It does work though. I do think it doesn't leave too much of like a cast, but it's definitely a little bit too dark. And I'm using that highlighter brush from the Essence set to apply it, which I find a little bit too big for, like, the brush is bigger than my cheekbone, which I don't love. But there you can see it pretty well. But yeah, it does have a little bit too dark of a shade, which is what I was afraid of, but you know, for the sake of the video, I think for the summertime, if you want to go for that super bronzy look, it can still work, but for my fair skin, it's definitely a little bit too much. This highlighter is better if you have medium skin. And then we're going in with the Catrice Cheek Palette. So I'm first going to be using the blush. You know what? I'm just going to be a rebel and see if I can use this as a blush brush, because I think that this domed tip is going to be perfect for that. So let me take, it's like a really pretty, like, corally kind of Benefit Coralista NARS Orgasm kind of blush. And that comes together really nicely. Like with this bronzer and this highlighter, it makes for a very pretty glowy, like summertime look. The way I like to apply my blush, I know that everybody does, but the way I like to do it, and this is a trick that I learned from Wayne Goss way back in the day, is that when you smile to find the apples of your cheeks, it will drop down. So what I do, I smile, I find the apple of my cheek, but then I already drop it and then I apply it. And that way I never have blush that is too far down. So that's the way that I like to do it. So I do smile, find that roundness, and then I drop it, and that's when I apply product. So in case you were wondering how that works for me. And that way it's a little bit higher, but it's not down here, which makes your features lifted just a little bit. So now I'm going to go in with the highlighter that I'm going to use to really make this a highlight. So that's this one. So I'm going to be using my Sigma F03 for this. This is much smaller. Like if you put these side by side, the shape is like a little bit more flat. This is very round. Like just look at the size difference there. So this, I feel I can use a little bit more to really target my highlighter. And this is also a little denser, so I find it picks up product a lot more easily. So I really like the texture of this highlighter in the Catrice one. It's a little bit that gel to powder formula that they also have in the More Than Glow highlighters, if you're familiar with that. This formula definitely reminds me of that. So it's very much that sort of like cream to powder kind of situation, but with still being able to pick it up with a brush. Like if you don't love the ColourPop Super Shock kind of formula, then I think you'll like this Catrice one, because the Catrice formula is just easier to pick up and use. And this is much more of a highlight for me than that darker Essence one, but I do think it blends together really nicely. And then just to make this a very glowy cheek, I'm also going to be using my stipple brush. This is the Crown C406, and a little bit of that shimmering bronzer from the Catrice palette, and just apply it over just to blend it all together. And I think that for the summertime, this can be a really nice glowy face look. Let's put a little bit on my nose. I don't normally do that, but I feel that else I look a little too pale. So I think that is that for the face. So I think I've used pretty much every single product save that for that one highlighter. And that means that we can move on to the eyes. So let me do my little double priming action. I always get a lot of questions from people saying like, hey, you also have hooded eyes. How do you make your eyeshadow stick? My trick is Milani eyeshadow primer, or just like any clear eyeshadow primer of your choice, and then going in with the MAC Paint Pot, which is also a primer, so that's why I call it a double prime. This is in the shade Painterly, and this I use as more like what most people would use a concealer for, but I find most concealers too heavy, and then I get the creases. But if I use this, I'm essentially using two primers. I see the Milani as a primer that I use to sort of stick down the shadow, and this as a primer to conceal the redness of my lid. And also I have quite a bit of darkness right here, because not only do I have hooded eyes, I also have quite deep set eyes, which is why I'm always struggling with like a lot of darkness in here. And that's why, and then I do set that MAC Paint Pot. So, and I always apply the eyeshadow primer, the first one, like at the start of my makeup routine, so it has time to settle down, and I feel that that really helps with how my makeup lasts. I know that a lot of people prefer or like using a glitter primer if they have hooded eyes and they apply eyeshadow or something similarly. I like doing it this way because I feel that with glitter primers, I don't get as much room to play with the product, as it just really grips onto everything. And I want my eyeshadow to still be, like I still want to be able to blend it. And this way, I can blend my shadow, it's set, and it won't budge. So this is my little tip. So trick with the eyeshadow primer done, we're going to be talking about these two eyeshadow palettes and the look that I want to do. The thing with the Catrice palette, I feel, is that I feel this red should have been a green. And then I would have liked this better, I think. So that's why I'm happy that the Essence palette has a matte green. because I can use that to deepen up the look. I think I want to pull in that yellow as well, and then this green shimmer looks really pretty. It's very sort of iridescent sparkle. Let me swatch it for you. In the pen, it looks like it's going to be a duochrome, but it's more like a very sheer sort of, but highly shiny green shade. It looks really pretty, really stunning. And then perhaps I can use the green and the blue from the Catrice palette, this as a blend shade, and then possibly like that darker brown, or maybe I want to use this mustardy brown for my crease. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely going to have a bit of fun playing around with these. I think I want to like try 3 or 4 shadows from each palette to create the look. And of course, I'm going to create the look using some of these new Essence brushes. I probably have no use for the fan brush or for the spoolie today, but I think that with these 5 brushes, I should be able to do at least something. And these look really nice and small, so I'm very happy. According to Essence, this is the blending brush, and this is a crease brush, which has a bit of an angle. This shader brush, however, feels a little bit flimsy, and also the cut on it, it seems a little uneven. So whether that's going to do anything for packing on eyeshadow, I don't know, but I'm really happy with this pencil brush. It really has a good amount of stiffness to it, so I think it can be really good for like the lower lash line, and we do have a bit of a liner here as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how this all plays together. I definitely think I do want to make it nice and smoky, but I'm not going to zoom you in. I'm just going to speed you through this, and then afterwards I'm going to let you know how I feel about these eyeshadows. So that is the eye look done. Let me talk to you about the brushes first. So these are nice soft brushes, but the finish on them isn't, like the cut on the bristle isn't very straight, which means that you're gonna have to like just be very careful with your product placement, and it's just not as precise, even though these are very small brushes. The surprise to me was this angle brush. It's really great at placing color in the crease, because that's what I use it for. And yeah, it's on camera, you can't really see it. I think it looks fine, but here in real life, I feel I didn't get the blend I would want here on the outer corner. I like things if they're very diffused, and I don't like any sharp lines there because I already have quite angular features there, like my brow bone is coming down so low, and then I just feel it looks a little stark, especially because my brow bone drops down so much when I just relax my brows. That it just looks a little bit weird the way it's now cut. So, and really bringing it up higher, I'm already in my brows. So that's why with this brush, I wanted this to be a little bit more diffused here in the outer corner, but it did work really well. The shadow brush was a bit of a surprise because it's very fluffy. I didn't think it was going to do a lot of packing. It worked okay, not my favorite though. The angle brush I ended up not using because I didn't do anything of a liner situation. The blending brush is nice. You can sort of use circular motions to buff things out, but here as well, I feel it's not stiff enough to really do much. So it's a little too fluffy. And then this pencil brush is exactly what I was hoping. This is a good one. It's stiff enough, but it still has a bit of give to really go into that lower lash line. So the brushes I like, they're not my favorite, but I definitely think this little angle brush and the pencil brush are gonna go into my everyday eyeshadow brush collection. And then for the Essence Jurassic World palette, I used these top 3 shades which were the shades that really drew me in, I'm not gonna lie. The yellow isn't the best, but I just use it as a bit of a blend shade here, just to get a little bit of that warmth in the top lash, and yellow and green usually blends together really well, so that's why I did really like that. The green, I now fluffed into the crease. I'm pretty sure that if you were to build it up to intensity, that it looks a bit better, but right now it's just a really nice murky, dark green that leans a little bit more teal. It's not a full-on green. I feel it definitely has a blue undertone. And then this shimmer is the star of the show. I've used it in the inner corner. I also tapped it all over the lid just to give it a little bit of a different quality. All over the lid, I feel it didn't do too much, but I definitely think that if you were to just do like a smoky eye with just these 3 shades, you would be fine, because this topped over that matte, I think will be stunning. But just to show you what it can do, I did also put it in the inner corner here today. And then the Catrice shadows were really, really good too. I used these 3 shades. So I used the dark brown as a crease shade just to set things up, and I used this brush. The brush was a little bit too small to really sort of set up a transition, I felt, but I do feel it forms a good base for these greeny blues that I've got going on in the rest of the look. So that's also like the only neutral I really used. Then I popped the green all over the lid, and then this blue shimmer is on my lower lash line. And the result is this very pretty, smoky, greenish blue, perfect for summer with a hint of bronze kind of eye look. So I'm living for it. And then to finish off the look, I went in with mascara. This is the I Heart Extreme Volume Mascara from Essence, and this has been around for a while. It has been years since I used it though, so I was like, I could try it again. I usually swear by their Lash Princess in the green tube. That's my favorite. But yeah, this is a good volumizing mascara. It has a plastic bristle brush, and it does comb through your lashes really nicely. And then I wouldn't be me if I didn't go in with my waterproof Catrice Glam and Doll, because I feel that, especially this mascara, I remember being quite flaky at the end of the day. So this is hopefully going to give it a bit more longevity. And then we have one product left, which is lips, and this is the pH Reacting Lip Glow. I already swatched it on the back of my hand the other day, and it is indeed one of those lip balms that's just going to add a hint of color to your lips. It looks bright orange. I know who's going to love this. My 5-year-old niece is probably going to love it, also because it's got pink packaging. And this smells like chemical orange fruit. Like, you know, if you have like orange flavored candy, that's what this smells like. So not my favorite. It's also the only product that's scented in the entire thing. But you can see the difference. My bottom lip is instantly looking a little bit pinky, like popsicle-like. And that is what this lip balm looks like. So it definitely works. It changes the natural color of your lip to this like juicy, like I just ate a popsicle kind of look, which I love in the summertime. So I think these are both very pretty summer collections. I am still a little bit confused, so maybe that's still coming, but usually in July, Catrice brings out a bronzer collection. I'm not sure if this is it. This could be it, what they're doing for summer, but I thought that this could make for a pretty look, and I'm very happy with the way this turned out. A lightweight base, and then just some products to really amp it up, and I really like how glowy this cheek looks. It's very bronzy, perfect for the summertime. So yeah, I think these two collections combined with the addition of the brushes were a very good move from Catrice and Essence. So I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. I definitely have fun filming again. It's been a while, so I hope I wasn't too rambly. And if this is a longer video than I normally have been posting, then I hope you don't mind. And yeah, thank you so very much for being here today. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more by me, because in July, I'm going to be doing a full face get ready with me with all of my favorite Essence and Catrice products. That's why I didn't go in with like concealer and foundation today, because that's going to come up in the next couple of weeks for sure. So I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye!